Hello, in this video, let's talk about how to convert between the degrees and radians. Since we can measure the angle in two different ways, degrees and radians, sometimes the question will be asked in radians, but it would be easier for us to solve it using degrees. So we have to know how to convert from radians to degrees. And sometimes we will simply be asked on a homework or the quiz, convert between different measures. And so here are two examples how to convert from degrees to radians, and one example how to convert from radians to degrees. There are different ways of doing it. One way is to simply remember that the pi is 180 degrees, and it's a very key fact and it's worth remembering. So pi is 180 degrees. And then using this fact, we can set up what's known as proportion. So we arrange the radians under radians and degrees under degrees. So pi is in radians and 180 is in degrees. So now we're asking how many radians is 60 degrees. So we put the 60 degrees under the degrees, which makes 60 here, and then we don't know how many radians that is. So now with that we can copy this proportion as a fraction. So from here we can now say that we have pi divided by x is 180 divided by 60. From here, we can cross multiply and find the x. If we have a ratio, fraction on one side, fraction on the other side, and there is nothing else, and the two sides are equal to each other, then when we cross multiply in diagonally, that statement would also be equal or true. So multiplying, cross multiplying, pi times 60 will make 60 pi. And then x times 180 makes 180x. Now all we need to do is undo the multiplication by 180. To do this, we divide both sides by 180, and we have our answer as x is 60 divided by 180 pi. Of course, we can reduce, and the final answer should always be in the simplest form. So we know that 60 goes into 180 3 times, and that means we can simplify and call it 1/3 pi, or simply pi over 3. And that is the final answer to our first question. The next question is very similar, and it is to convert 225 degrees into radians. Once again, we start off the same way. Pi is 180, and we have 225 that we don't know what it is. So we make fractions out of it, and then we can use the calculator to do the simplification. So here we have pi over x is 180 over 225. Then we cross multiply once again. So 225 pi is 180 times x, and all we do is divide both sides by 180 to get the x. Now we can reduce ourselves, but it may be easier to reduce using the calculator. So for using the calculator, we can type in just the numbers into the calculator and leave the pi outside, using the calculator to do this reduction. So here is what I mean. Let's take the calculator and type in 225 divided by 180, which comes out to be 1.25. And then we go to the math and change that number into fractions. So we have 5/4. All we need to do is replace this into our answer, 5/4, and then the pi is on the outside, and so here is the answer to the second question. Now, to convert from radians to degrees, we use once again the same fact that pi is 180 degrees. All we need to do is replace each pi with 180 degrees and we'll be done. So here we have 7 pi, which is 180, divided by 5, and all of this goes into our calculator and we will know the answer. So here it is. 7 times 180 divided by 5 turns out to be 252 degrees. And so our final answer is 252 degrees. And that's it. That's how to convert between the degrees and radians. If you have any questions on anything, please let me know. Thank you for your time. Take care.